Hey everyone, One Big Boss here, and welcome back to another episode of New to Retro Reviews. And today we are talking about the highly anticipated sequel to a little game that I put about 70 hours into called The Forest. This was a survival crafting game where you end up on an island, you're crash landed there, and you have to find a way off the island and to survive. And me and my friends, 70 hours of that game we put into it, and I can't even tell you how many on the PlayStation 4 I did once the game came to PS4, which, shockingly enough, the PS4 version actually ran pretty good at times, and sometimes I felt almost better than the PC version. But there was an announcement for a sequel, and of course, me and my friends were super stoked for that because it was absolutely insane to think that we were getting a sequel to this game. I didn't think we were, but here we are. In 2023, the game dropped earlier this year, and I wanted to wait to do a review on it because I had some other reviews to work on too, but I think this game also needed some time to cook, and boy, am I glad I let it cook because the game is amazing. Sons of the Forest is a great sequel to an amazing game. I have put 90 hours into this, or maybe I think a little bit more, for this, not just this review, just for playing it. And it's that amazing. I truly do love what this game has given me and my friends. If you like the first game, The First Forest, Sons of the Forest is going to be right up your alley. I do not think anybody is going to disagree with me on this. And to be honest, you guys don't even have to finish this review. Although, I'd like it if you could, maybe hit that thumbs up button and give it a share because that helps it get seen. But I'm going to tell you this right now, buy the game. It is absolutely incredible. But if you need more of a reason why you need to buy this game, stick around because that's what we're talking about today. So, with that being said, I give you my review of Sons of the Forest for the PC. Let's go. Now, at first glance, the story for Sons of the Forest is much like the original. You don't have too much thrown at you all at once. It's very bare bones, but not in a bad way. In fact, the way that you discover the story of this game is very reminiscent to how the original Resident Evil 1 did it. You got an interesting cutscene, and it told you about bizarre murders, and then that was it. You pretty much had to go throughout the whole mansion and figure out what was what's going on, and find notebooks that had journal entries where you're like, oh my god, there was an accident. Oh my god, there's people transforming into zombies as they're writing this stuff. This is crazy. And Sons of the Forest is kind of like that. You have to find the artifacts. You have to find the papers. You got to find the bunkers. Everything that you need to know about the game's story is actually here. And it's kind of what adds that fun factor to the game. Not just learning about the story as a whole, but the adventure of finding it out and really putting your mind to work is here, and I praise the devs for that. It was a really smart thing for them to do. But the basis of the story is, for Sons of the Forest, you are part of a private military group that's owned by the Puffton Corporation, and they're seeking out the owner of the corporation and the owner of the island that you're going to, Edward Puffton, because he and his family went missing some time ago, and there has been no contact on the island. Well, after going over some info about the family, you end up crashing onto the island because something shoots the helicopters out of the sky. Now, you will end up in one of three areas: the ocean area, the mountains, and of course, the forest. Once you recover and gather all of your survival tools, you'll find a fellow soldier who did survive named Kelvin, and he's pretty much your little helper in this. You can kind of have him do the same stuff that you do, and it kind of speeds up the building of your base, and trust me, you're going to need Kelvin. Now, he's deaf and mute, so you have to actually write to him to tell him what to do on a little notepad. And honestly, it's kind of cool. He can't attack for whatever, despite being a soldier. I don't get it, but, that's just the way it is. But as time goes on, and you start exploring the island a little bit more, and you build your base, you realize that there is something really wrong with the island, and you feel that you're always being watched, because pretty much you are. And that's one of the glorious things about this that makes you want to go through and see what the rest of the story is about. Now, it does get pretty deep, and I won't go, deep into the story itself, but I do want you guys to play this for its story as well, because it's pretty interesting, and as a neat little thing, it does have a connection to the first game. Now, do I think you have to play the first game in order to get the story to this one? I don't think you do. In fact, I think they do explain some things of why certain people are there, but either way, give it a try, guys. Really focus on building in this game, but also discovering the lore of the game. It's pretty damn interesting. So the gameplay for Suns is a lot like the previous game, but if you're new to the series, it goes without saying that this is a survival crafting game, and you're on an island, and you need to find ways to survive. And by doing so is by building homes and walls to protect you and your friends, because this is a must, because the game itself actually has a system in place where as time goes on, cannibals get more aggressive, more aggravated, smarter, and brave. Sometimes you can scare them away just by simply shooting, or with later creatures you can use the crosses to burn them, but at one point these guys get so brave that they don't give a damn anymore. They will come and attack you in a full flurry, man, and sometimes it's more than you can handle. Base building is a very crucial aspect of survival in this, and you can make walls that go around it with the logs that you chop down, but there's also more to it. And the fact of it is, even if you seal off a nice little area for you and your friends, you still have to go around that wall, chopping off the top of the logs in order to make spikes, because those spikes means the enemies can't crawl over them, which I think is weird because they're wood and not metal or anything, but hey, whatever. They can't climb over. So please make sure you do that when you play this game so you don't keep getting invaded, because the funny thing about this game is enemies can actually steal your stuff. I have literally seen them stealing logs that I had put down, or they take them out of the loader. It's so funny, and honestly, I think that's kind of a cool little aspect that gives you more of a reason to defend your base in this game. There's also other ways to defend your base, not with just the guns that you find, but you can also use traps. Traps like the turtle shells, which will launch enemies into the sky, and you can also use electric fences. Those are pretty fun too, because enemies just get stuck in them sometimes. But the thing of it is, you gotta build your house, and you gotta do it right. Or, like my friends, you build something so insane looking that it makes no sense. It's honestly funny. I'm honestly thinking that these cannibals are watching us, and they're like, dude, maybe we shouldn't mess with them. It's just, the stuff that you can come up with in this game is pretty brilliant, and it's almost like an endless possibility type of thing, At the beginning of the game's release, you could actually drink the water freely, but now you get hurt if you drink any of the water. So you have to boil it, put it in a pot, or you can actually print yourself a nice little canteen. Yeah, there's 3D printers on the island. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But it's kind of a nifty little aspect to it at that point when you're just going through the wildlife and you see these deers and these moose and turtles and all this stuff that can help you survive. You got to collect the meat for this, because the meat and the food that you collect and the water you collect is going to help you out, because I feel in this game you get hungrier and thirstier a lot faster. It's kind of insane with how much it just drops on you, but I think that's because you're doing so much in this game. But hunting and gathering meat and getting everything that you need is another portion of surviving on the island, and it's actually a lot of fun, and it's very easier now to collect the meat than it was when the game first dropped. I felt like the island almost had no wildlife at one point when we were first playing. And when you collect the meat, you're good to go. But like in real life, meat can spoil. But don't worry, because just like in real life, you can recook the spoiled meat, and it's good as new. That is a thing, right? Okay, well, I know that sounds weird, but it's true. You can actually take the rotted meat that you have left in your backpack and recook it, and it's fine to eat. I think that's kind of a dumb thing to do, in my opinion, for this game, but honestly, it's not that big of a deal. And one of the things you can actually do to save the meat from going bad is by putting up drying racks. And the drying racks will help you because you can store all your meat and all the fish that you collect. And yeah, there is fishing. And, well, honestly, it's pretty cool because you're able to put down fish traps, and the fish traps will help you when it comes time to collecting fish while you're out on a mission or exploring caves, and you can come back, and it's pretty awesome at that point. But sometimes you might not always be able to get said fish because there are winters in this game. Yeah, depending how long you're on here for the island, how long you're playing, you're gonna run into winter at least once or twice, and that's when everything freezes. All your water around you freezes. The fish cannot be accessed under the water at this point, and you have to go hunting in the woods in order to find anything like deer or moose. And to be honest, you're not going to have a problem finding them, but having the fish just makes things a little bit easier in my personal opinion. And you have to light fires to keep yourself warm during the winter, you'll start shivering, you'll get cold, it does affect your health. It's little things like this that I really love about this game, that they really make you feel like that this is a true survival experience. And I think they do a very good job with all that, giving you stuff that you can't eat, things that you eat if they hurt you. You'll start freezing if you're out in the cold for too long. It's really a neat little aspect of this game. Now, as I said, there are 3D printers that you find in the bunkers, and, well, they're 3D printers, so you can make a bunch of different things to help you throughout your survival journey. You can print sleds, which, I'm sorry, the sleds, I really hope they patch that and make it so they don't sink when you're in water. Now, there are times when you can have fun just sliding down the water with them, but they're mainly made for just going down the snowy hills to get you to places, and honestly, that's a blast too. But you can also get stuff for your zip lines. You could print 3D arrows for your crossbow. And the canteens, like I said before. It's important to go to all these bunkers to find anything that can help you, whether it's light bulbs, whether it's solar panels, anything at all that these bunkers offer you. Sometimes there's a lot of food in them. You gotta go and you gotta do these things because it's one of the main parts of the game in how you get to places. And it's also good to remember where these places are too, because you can go back and things are refilled after a while. So please make sure to go through the bunkers the best you can if you're having trouble getting items for certain blueprints or traps that you're making. As for the caves, well, the layout of the caves have changed a lot since the first release of the game, and there's newer paths. The caves are a lot larger, and they're more dangerous. One of the big issues that I have with this is the fact that the GPS doesn't work here. So if you go in, make sure you go with friends, because this underground area can get crazy. But it's also very crucial you go here because you find a lot of things that are, well, kind of mind-blowing in many ways and kind of make you go, is this what's down here? This is one of the best parts of exploring the game, is the mind-blowing stuff that you find in the caves. Again, I want to talk about it more, but I think you guys really need to play this. Just make sure that you're fully equipped before you go in, because it's very dark, and the lighters that they give you just don't do the justice, and neither do the torches that they give you. Now, you can get flares to throw them down to take out any enemies that are trying to surround you, because believe me, these caves are filled with them. And even in some of them, I don't know if these got patched out, but some of the caves do have sharks in them, so be very careful. There were some originally, I don't know about now. But the caves are fun to explore, and you may even have to write out how they go, like an old Zelda map. You ever remember playing the original OG Zelda and just making a map of every room and where things were? I feel like you might have to kind of do that because of how big the caves are, and no map system works underground, which, again, I think is a little bit of a problem. Also, as I mentioned before, you do get people to help you out in this game if you're not playing with friends, and even if you do play as friends, these NPCs come out to help you, and that is Kelvin, and ask him to do anything and he'll do it. If you want him to build something, if you want him to gather logs or twigs or anything of the sort, he will go do that. But much like I've experienced with my friends, whenever I tell Kelvin to do something, generally one of my friends goes, "Tony, he's stealing my stuff." You really can't control the AI of Kelvin in this. If there's anybody that has logs laying around, he will go to them. The best example I can give for you guys to do is to take Kelvin out in the woods, throw some dynamite, knock down the trees, and just give him access to all those logs for him to bring back to the base or fill up one of the log sleds. That's one of the best things that I say that you can do for him to make that work. You also get a character named Virginia. She's pretty crucial to the story, so I won't spoil it, but again, she's there to help you, and boy, you're gonna need her for some of the stuff that comes your way in this game. But I will say this about Virginia. She does act like a scared cat at first, but once she gets used to you guys, she sees what you're doing on the island, she sees that you're not a threat, she'll come around and she'll be able to help you. And trust me, you're gonna need this. But the weird thing of it is, she and Kelvin will not go into any of the caves or bunkers with you. I don't know why that is. It kind of reminds me of Yoshi not going into the ghost house back at Super Mario World. So it is kind of a strange thing that they don't, but either way, it's still fine. You just got to make sure that when you go into these caves by yourself, like I said earlier, you're very well prepared. And one of the things I didn't mention is, when you go into these caves, make sure you make bombs and all kinds of stuff to help you survive, because you're going to find blueprints down there that'll help you in the game. And trust me, you're going to need some of these blueprints to defend yourself. There's really an endless amount of fun to be had with this game, but at this point, you're probably wondering, what's wrong with it? What's the bad of this game, dude? You got to tell us. And Well, honestly, the bad of the game is not really anything too bad or ruins the game, but I feel that in terms of building your home and other items, the survival handbook they have, it kind of shows you how you're supposed to do it. But in the old game, it would kind of do it for you in terms of laying out like an outline, and it would give you an exact idea. Now, there are some things like that with the houses this time, but for other things, there's just not. And it kind of makes the building a little bit more difficult. And I didn't really like that. You know, you could actually change the height of towers in the older game, and in this one, you really can't. Again, it's a minor complaint. I don't think it's that bad. But it's something that I wish that they would fix and kind of take some things from the old game and bring it back into the new one. But the big problem that me and my friends ran into while playing this was the fact that making a house and an area is tough because the ground in many areas is so uneven, you can't make proper property very easily at all. Or better example, in the original forest, if you wanted to make walls from the wooden trees, you could put an outline. Place it wherever it wanted to go, change the direction to give you free shape to your fortress. And it was perfect. Same thing with building bridges. You could connect a area to one area to another and add the wood to it. It's great. But in Suns, the ground can actually mess with your walls or your foundation of your building, and there's no way to fix it. This is an issue because finding logs for your home can be a lot of work, and you may have put a lot of work into it and then have to go back to square one because you can't build anything like you want. It's really a pain. And I know that you can build the foundation, which has work, because I have found places that you could do it, but other times it looks like I can build in certain areas and the whole thing's abstract by this. I really hope it's something that they do patch in the future. Also, one of my other gripes, like I said, is the GPS in the caves. While it's fun to explore and get new items, it does make me not want to go in them at all, because you can easily get lost, turn around, or fall down a slide that you didn't see. And I really wish they would give you a map of some kind to use down there, because for me personally, that cave area is rough. And if you're by yourself, it makes it 10 times more difficult than it needs to be. My last gripe I have with this game is the island size. Now, this game, at the time of this video, is in early access until February 2024. The full game is being released, but as of right now, exploring the island after a while gets a bit tiring because it's got caves and areas to explore, but you find other places and it's just so vast and empty that you don't really need to explore. But I'm sure that the update will have a lot more for the fans that are still playing the game, and I want to be surprised if they keep adding to this game because there's legit so much potential that they have yet to tap into, and they've already given us so much. So I'm really hoping that when the full game comes out, certain areas of the game that we find do have a lot more to do and make it worth trekking across the island. There are these little night Vs that you can ride, but to be honest, they're really not that great, and they're only good on the beaches because these things can bump into something so slightly and send you flying. It's actually kind of hilarious at that point, but the small gripes I have with this game. But the good. What's the good of this game? Well, you really, really don't get bored. Despite some issues that I mentioned, the game with friends is still absolutely amazing.
Oh my god. That died in a funny way.
Quit worrying it. You just ruined it, Tony. Thanks a lot.
Shut up!
Too bad Tony couldn't see how that looked.
Well, what did it look like?
Okay, so it died with its butt straight up in the air, and you were standing on top of it, carving its butt out.
Yes!
So you were just like digging the knife into its cheeks.
Are we there yet? Can you stop? I have to pee.
Swear to God, I will turn this ride around.
What's this button do? Just getting like pestered by crows and seagulls while you're going up the zip line. Oh my god, get out of here.
Spend some time building a village. Send some people to collect wood, or send others to go build a secondary home and then connect the zip lines throughout the island to get to place to place to place, and even send items back and forth between the villages. I just love this. This is so cool to just come up with new homes. Build one, and then build another, then build another. Build a house where you can store all your meat. Build a small cabin to store all your weapons. This is a game that I really do feel has that endless possibility feel. And I really love the fact that as weird as the crafting is that I talked about earlier, it's still fun learning the new tools, learning the new traps, making a fully functioning camp with lights and kind of this weird forge that you get to collect as well. And crazy stuff happens when you activate this forge, let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen. And it's just one of the reasons that makes this game so damn good. I don't feel that time gets wasted, and it's just that fun. I mean, again, 90 hours I put into this game already. It's insane at that point. If I'm putting that much in, this is definitely a fun game. But one of the things that really makes it interesting is the modding. Modding is a godsend, and trust me, you're going to need it. You can't carry many logs, and some things you need to carry a lot of. It'll take forever for you to cut down trees and just carry a few logs back here and there. And I get it. That's what the log carrier is for, because now we have the log carriers in the game. They weren't there originally. But I gotta tell you, it really speeds up the process, and I don't feel like it breaks the game in this aspect. Oh, what the fuck? Holy!
What happened?
Proxy, what's going on? You're breaking my game, dude. Stop shitting logs.
My game's very
Just don't look at it.
Bro, I'm not even hear you guys and I'm lagging.
Oh my god,
There it
Proxy.
goes.
You can also get a brighter lighter mod, and when you activate your backpack and you can go in and look at everything that's around you, it is slow. There is a mod to speed that up. Now, I like playing games generally as is, but I feel that these are additions that need to be done because, again, if you want to progress through the story at one point, you do need these. And honestly, you don't want a slow scrolling icon if you're playing this game, because you don't want to get caught by mutants or cannibals as you're trying to pick a weapon or heal yourself with something or grab a bomb, let's say. Trust me, mods are where it's at for this game. It just makes everything that's already a 10 pumping it up to 11. There's really no shortage of fun despite the negatives that I've talked about here. The team delayed the game a few times, but I think it was for the right reasons. This game's fun factor is through the roof. I want to talk more about the story, but I think the one key thing in this game is its story. Who you run into, what you see, and what you learn, all while trying to survive on the island. That's the true fun of this game, because there's no time limit. You can collect the clues, find the bunkers, find out the terrible secrets on the island, all at your own pace, which will have you and your friends playing this for a long time. And as I said throughout this video, I have over 90 hours with this game, and I'm pretty sure that warrants a must-buy for this, because I think the game is only $30, and even though it's early access, it's still worth a buy at this point. So, there you have it. That is my review for Sons of the Forest, one of my personal favorite titles of 2023. When February 22nd happens in 2024, a big update to the game is happening with Shawn Ashmore voicing a very crucial character in the game, which we'll expand upon in the story a little bit more, and all the more reason for me and my friends to jump back in, and probably the same for you guys too. It was a little rough from the beginning of this game at launch in terms of being pretty bare bones. I mean, hell, even trees didn't regrow. You could drink water and not get hurt. You could drink lava and not get hurt. Yeah, no, you heard me right. You could actually drink lava. Proxy wanted me to really mention this in the review because he actually went and drank the lava when we first beat the game together earlier this year. And you could drink the lava. It was insane. But at the same time, I wasn't mad about something like that. And honestly, the team at Endnight really truly cares about what they've made here. They have been working so hard since the game's release to continuously give us new updates, new weapons, new caves, new areas. I feel like even the AI has become more aggressive as time went on. If you want to see like a whole list of what each update has done, if you check the Steam page for Sons of the Forest, it shows you everything that you get and what they fixed. And even if you're just going to look at what they fixed, it's an impressive list. These guys wanted to give us a great game, and they're still delivering to us. So, yeah. How could you not want to buy a game like this? If you're looking for something for you and your friends to get together with every so often and just have fun and build a base or explore an island, and this game does support up to 8 people, I highly recommend getting as many people as you can involved in this, because it's literally the more the merrier. That's the best way that I could put this. It is literally better played with more friends. You'll have so much fun and everybody will have something to do. So yeah, go out and buy Sons of the Forest. So with that being said, please thumbs up and subscribe because it's free. And this day and age, free is a damn good thing. As always, everybody, thank you for watching. This is the final review of 2023, and I've already got a ton lined up for 2024. So I just wanted to say thank you guys for supporting me here for 11 years now. And with everything that's coming to the channel, I cannot wait to show you my new idea for YouTube Shorts and more reviews. I think you guys are going to love it. So with that being said, thank you all, and I'll see you all next year. Take care. Have a good one. Hey everyone, thanks for watching. If you could give this video a thumbs up and a share, helps the channel out big time. Give me a follow on Twitter and Discord where I'm most active. Links down below in the description. Also, I stream on Twitch, so if you'd like to see me play a bunch of new to retro games, well, click down below, give it a follow, greatly appreciate it. Till next time guys, be safe, and have a good one.